We're back, and today we're going to make a specialty from the Netherlands that is always eaten in December, and those are Dutch sausage rolls, or in Dutch, in Nederlands, worstenbroodjes. Okay, let's start. We need the flour, nice on a clean worktop, and then we make a nice hole in the middle, and in the middle we're going to put all the fluid ingredients and of course the dry powders. First I grab a little bit of salt and I put that on the outside because I don't want the salt to touch the yeast, it will kill the yeast. Then the 50 grams of butter just on the side. Then the milk, the 300 grams of milk, and if you don't have milk then use 280 grams of water and 20 grams of milk powder. I'm not going to put everything in it because I want to feel the dough later on, but this recipe is so good, in reality you can throw everything in it as long as you have strong white flour. So the egg is also in the middle, and then 1 bag of yeast. So now we're ready to mix everything. Of course, take your time because the yeast has to dissolve a little bit in the milk and the egg yolk also, and then we're gonna mix everything from the inside to the outside so that we have a nice dough. Take your time. Of course you can also use a machine, but I rather show you this time by hand, and at home you can use a machine. So everything is mixed up. Then you see on the left that I have a little bowl with flour. I call that dust flour. Is what we need later on for working with the dough. I did not need extra water. I did not need extra flour. I'm now just cleaning up the flour and the dough. It will all absorb. Of course there are little pieces that are drying out. I will not put that in the dough, otherwise you get a little dirty stuff with it. See, hoppakee, the little pieces that had its own life. Now, before we continue, I like to clean my hands. So first I'm going to wash my hands before I'm going to finalize the dough. So clean the table, quick clean my hands, and now it's time to knit the dough. See, and now I use the dust flour to get everything not too sticky. And you see, I'm going to roll it out, and then I'm going to push it and pull it, push it and pull it, and then you roll it out again, and then again you push and pull. Now the knitting, see there's a little dry piece that I found from making the dough. Then again we're gonna push and pull. And I do that around 8 to 10 minutes. So after 8 minutes I make a ball, goes in a bowl. I put a little bit flour in the bottom so that it doesn't stick. Then I will top it with a plastic bag, freezer bag, and a towel goes over it. And the first rising time is a half hour. So those are resting. Now we're gonna make the meat piles for the sausage bread rolls. Now yeah, in reality everything is just mixing everything together. I buy my meat at Tesco, even the sausage meat. In this case I used sausage and I cleaned them out. We're gonna add the egg, the salt, the pepper, and then I'm also gonna use some tasters. Here a little bit nutmeg. It's a Dutch thing. Try it. It will improve the taste. I will write down also the extra tasters that I'm going to use. And the extra tasters are Worcestershire and mustard, yellow mustard. Then mix everything together. And you see there the beschuit or breadcrumbs, but I will show you how I'm going to make that one. So before we're going to mix everything together, I had to create some breadcrumbs and I used 3 pieces of Dutch beschuit. You can also use right away breadcrumbs further, no problem at all. So, and I'm just going to blend it in the small blender. And don't forget, don't use everything because we still need 25% of everything as dust. And you see it. So everything now together to make the mix. Take your time again so that everything is nice. Now then you take a scale and for every pile you need 50 grams. And from the dough we're gonna make also 12 pieces, so I need 12 times 60. You're gonna have a little bit left over, but you make a meatball of it or you use it in your soup as little soup balls. So everything 50 grams, and then I'm gonna show you how to make them. So I started a little bit ahead because I forgot to put on rack. Now it doesn't matter. But you see, from the 50 gram we can make a little ball, and then with the hand we roll them out to 10 to 11 centimeter. All the same, and then I push them on the side so that they are nice straight. And then we get 12 little piles. And here you see that the leftover of the breadcrumb I use as dust so that it doesn't stick on the table. So when you're done, please put also plastic over it and put it in the fridge. So the dough has risen for at least 30 minutes, mine 40. And then we're going to use a little bit of the dust flour so that it doesn't get sticky. Take the dough out of the bowl and we're going to make a nice roll of it. Don't push it, just make a nice roll of it. If it's a little bit fluffy, no problem at all. So we have to cut this in 12 equal pieces. So if you cut it first in the half, then it's 2 times 6, of course. And then again in the half, and then every piece you have to cut in 3. So, and after that we're going to make little balls of it. Just fold it and roll them into little balls. So cut in 12 pieces. Now you take it up and then you fold it in half, and then every corner, every little piece to the middle, and then with your hands you make a nice little ball. So to finalize, we need a little bit an egg wash. So 2 eggs, 3 spoons of water, and mix it for the egg wash. So again, 30 to 40 minutes. You see the little balls have risen, and now we're gonna make nice oval pieces, because you remember we have to put the meat in it. So don't flatten it right away, just push it with your hand, and then we're gonna roll them out. Don't forget to put flour, of course, on the dough roller, or rolling pin as they call it. Now what I'm doing here, I push on the end a little bit harder so that the end is a little bit thinner, because we have to fold it in, and if you don't do that you get doggy bones. But later on you will see that the result is perfect, as the Dutch worstenbroodjes have to be. And then I just make it a little bit wider, because they also have to be rolled over the meat. And I will do this in 2 pieces of 6. So when the first 6 are in the oven, then I can do the other ones. On the moment the meat is rolled in it, I let it rest, of course, let it rise it again, just room temperature, and it took me around 15 minutes, 20 minutes for the after rising, and then we continue. So look at it, roll it out, and use a little bit extra flour in case that the rolling pin starts to stick, but they have to be oval and at the end a little bit thinner. Okay, 6 done. Now we have time to finalize it. So first I'm going to put some egg wash on the outsides, and it's in reality for the glue. And then I pull it a little bit, put it over the top, press it, and now you see why it is thinner, because you get 4 double layers at the end. Then we put, and try to always work there in a square, and on the tops we put first a little bit egg wash, and then we pull it a little bit to the half, push it together with a little bit extra flour if needed, and we just roll it. And then we turn it around, because we also have to check if the bottom is nice together. First I brush off the extra flour that is on it, otherwise the egg wash will not stick. See, and then we're gonna close it. It's like a zipper. Just use a little bit force so that they are nice sticky together. While they are rising in the living room, I put the oven on 220 degrees Celsius, and because I don't have steam, I put a bowl of water in the bottom of the oven. So when I'm gonna bake it, they're gonna bake with steam. So after I baked them for 12 minutes, I took the water out, and then the last 6 minutes we baked them. The end result, beautiful sausage rolls. Incredible, beautiful and delicious sausage rolls.